And tonight, our Kent Spencer goes one-on-one with UK basketball coach John Calipari. A big season ahead with plenty of expectation.
That's right. We do want to point out here, though, this interview, the sit-down interview with Coach Calipari, really happened before Rick Pitino and Tom Jurich were placed on administrative leave. So far, the UK coach has not said anything publicly about U of L or Rick Pitino.
Our Kent Spencer is joining us right now. I haven't seen anything. Doug and I talked about that. Have you seen anything?
He has not said anything publicly. And remember, John Calipari and Rick Pitino did a podcast together last basketball season.
To it. He got a lot of listeners.
Absolutely. And just want to reiterate that this interview was shot several weeks ago, and it was embargoed until now. During our one-on-one with John Calipari, we touched on several topics, including possibly renewing the Indiana series and why he doesn't take a bigger stance on social issues. He's been to Egypt with Team USA, all over the country on the recruiting trail, and helped raise a ton of money for hurricane relief. You don't strike me as a guy who's slowing down or ready to give up the whistle anytime soon.
To really do this job well, there's points in the summer that you got to say, I'm out. I'll see you in 2 or 3 weeks. So, having fun. No crying on the yacht.
Archie Miller.
What about a series with Indiana? John Calipari refers to new Hoosiers head coach Archie Miller as family. What do you think the odds of the Indiana series being renewed at some point within the next 5 years?
I don't think Tom Crean is the reason we weren't playing Indiana. The reason was they didn't want to play at neutral sites. And that stands true today. We won't play a home-and-home with Indiana. I'm not going to do it. So, you know, the opportunity to play at a neutral site and do it as an event is there. And so, you know, we haven't had that kind of dialogue yet.
Calipari has always educated and supported players who want to have a voice when it comes to social issues. But what about himself? Given your seat when it comes to political or social issues, do you have to be careful with your opinion?
Yeah, because no one really knows if I'm a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. They can act like they know, but, you know, I vote for leaders is what I vote for. But I would say this, my grandparents came through Ellis Island, did not speak English. My parents are laborers. My dad was a laborer. My mom sold ice cream in a cafeteria. And their child gets to meet the presidents, like, of the United States? Wait a minute, how did that? Is able to go to the White House? Oh, I'm going. You could be mad, sad, peed off, peed on, it doesn't matter.
We also talked about the incident where a few Kentucky fans made death threats and hate-related calls to the private business of referee John Higgins, one of the officials in Kentucky's Elite Eight loss to North Carolina.
Our people could take it to another level, and no one wants to step in and get in the middle of a melee. You just say, look, I don't know, what do we do? And I made statements, but it's, you know, the good and the bad of this is they care.
And surprise, surprise, he likes his current team at Kentucky, but they better be ready.
It's a totally different animal here. To get them to understand you are the hunted, they wanted your scholarship. They want to know, why did I take you and I didn't take them? It's Kentucky.
And I think one of the reasons why, and you guys mentioned it, why he hasn't weighed in on what's going on with U of L men's basketball and the status of Rick Pitino is he hasn't had a chance to really speak out publicly. Kentucky will hold their media day next Thursday, and I guarantee you he'll be asked about it, and he'll talk about it.
Well, the podcast that they recorded about a year ago, it's really a joy to listen to, because you think these two bitter rivals really had a lot of common ground, laughed together, told old stories about each other.
Well, you know, and it goes back to when John Calipari was helping at the 5-star camp that Rick Pitino was a coach at. I mean, that's kind of really where John Calipari got his start in coaching, and he helped Rick Pitino really kind of helped him along the way from there.
Although I don't think John Calipari will get the first exclusive with Rick Pitino on a podcast.
Probably not.
All right, thank you so much.
Christmas
Appreciate it. I don't know.